Are we live? We're live! Yay! I've had some internet issues, so hopefully, crossing our fingers that this is going to work. Welcome to the very first live on the That Content Nerd channel. I'm so happy that you are here. My name is Karleigh, and I am so obsessed with helping creators help their content work harder and go further, because let's be real, content creation is really freaking hard. Whether you're live streaming, whether you are on TikTok, whether you have a podcast, whether you do full produced cinematography style videos, this ish is hard. And your content should be working just as hard as you are. And if it's not, it's time to make it hustle. So let's dive into the top 10 ways, if I can press the right button, to repurpose your content. So this is my very first time using this together, so bear with me. Hopefully everything should work, but give me some grace if it acts up. So here we go. 10 ways to repurpose your content. Oh, and to be real, you may not create videos. If you are a podcaster, this applies to you. If you're a blogger, this applies to you. If you create short form or long form content, whatever content you create, this is going to apply. So I'm going to talk mainly from the idea of the main piece of content being a video, but this will apply to you even if you're not a video content creator. This is going to open you up and get those creative juices flowing. So let's dive in. So number one, the most obvious, and if you follow me on Twitter, if you've hung out on this channel at all, the thing I talk about the most is taking long form videos and breaking them down into short form content like Reels, TikTok, Shorts, and most recently, idea pins on Pinterest. I've toyed around with these a little bit, but not consistently enough to have a lot of data. But if you follow peeps like JJ Gat, like she goes into idea pins, and she's the reason why I started dabbling in them to begin with. But breaking down short form content or breaking down long form into short form content is one of the easiest ways to make your content go further. And the reason why is because you've already done the work of this longer form video. Now you can go back and chop it up into smaller versions of the video. And if you're wondering about like best practices or how to do that, regardless of whatever video editor you use, in the description, I have linked to another video where I walk you through how to take your long form video and turn it into a TikTok, Reel, Short, or idea pin. So be sure to check that out after the stream. This is another really good one that people don't think about. So you can take your longer form video and break it down into 3 to 5 minute clips. Now, what I mean by that is, so this live stream is probably going to be anywhere from 15 minutes if I don't ramble, upwards to a half an hour if I take a little bit longer, or if there's Q&A or, things like that. And so I can go into this longer form of the live stream and find moments that are standalone, that really can pull people in to create more content for this channel. So one, for those of us who are streamers, like this channel is going to be mainly focused on live streams, because in my season of life as a single mom, live streaming is the easiest way for me to create content consistently on this channel. And I can go in and break down those longer forms into smaller pieces for those who may not want to watch a longer video, or for those who just want that direct bite of information. Whether you live stream or not, this is a really, really good strategy to have in mind. If your video is longer than about 10 to 12 minutes, you can easily get at least one shorter clip out of there. Whether you're a how-to channel, if you're in another kind of education channel, if you're an entertainment or gaming channel, go in and find those highlight moments to create smaller chunks of content. Because what's going to happen is maybe people don't want to watch your long form videos right now. But if they see enough of your smaller clips, they're going to want to go see the whole thing to get the full context. So there's more content that you've already created, and there's also more chance that you're going to grab new people. Pull audio for podcasts. So this doesn't necessarily apply to everybody, but if your content is not super visually heavy, you can pull the audio and put it on a podcast platform. For example, on my other channel for my podcast, where I help women who have survived toxic relationships, my content is not super visual heavy. It's more so educational. So I can go in and do a live or just create a video, post it, and pull the audio, and it works just as well as a podcast audio. Any editing I have to do is super minimal because maybe I'm taking out YouTube references unless I want them to go and check out my YouTube channel, or I'm maybe like cutting out awkward things in the middle, things like that, versus taking the time to create a video for that channel, edit the video, create the thumbnail, get it up, and then I got to go and record a whole extra podcast episode, edit the podcast episode, get my intro and outro in there, and then also get it on the podcast platform. Taking out all of that extra work means I can put out more quality content for my podcast for the women who need me, who need that content. Even if you're not necessarily an education channel, if you're entertainment, or if maybe you do game, but you really storytell during it. Like there's a game that I absolutely love that I really want to stream only for the sole purpose as embodying that character and sharing what's going on inside her head. That may work as a podcast episode as long as there's context. You can pull that, put it on a podcast platform, add an intro that says, hey, this is the game that I'm playing, and this is the environment that I'm in. Let me know what you think. Boom, go right into it. So think outside of the box. Think a little bit differently when it comes to reusing your content. Not all of these may apply to you, but use this as an opportunity to think it through. So once you've pulled the audio for your podcast, or even if you don't pull the audio from your podcast, you can transcribe the audio and create a blog post out of it. This is for a variety of reasons. One, this is really good for the deaf and hard of hearing community because they have a way to still consume your content even if they can't hear it, or even if they can't necessarily see it clearly, or maybe if they are like photosensitive, they can't watch a video because it can risk harming them. Having it in a blog post form is great for accessibility purposes. It's also great for SEO purposes. I can't even explain the number of times I've been stuck on ESO, not able to find what I want, and I don't really necessarily want to go watch a long YouTube video on how to get it done. I just want to get exactly what I need. When I type that into Google, it will take me to a blog post that has the video in it, but that just writes out the steps on how to do it. And I don't have to waste time watching the video, and I can get into my game so I don't risk dying, right? So other people may want to watch the video, but you're giving more people more options when you dump that into a blog post. Google already SEOs YouTube videos as they're really beginning to dive deep into the AI. But imagine how good it's going to be when you also do the blog post with it. You're getting that extra SEO juice, so why not? So once you have that blog post, you can also turn that into an article on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is really underrated. And even if you're not necessarily super corporate and business, I mean, look at me, I'm not corporate and business at all. I've slacked on my LinkedIn lately, but I am on there because I want to be seen more, and I want to be seen as an authority in my space. In the psychology and mental health space, I want people to see me posting there consistently. Why double the work? Why write a blog post or do a video or all of this and then start from scratch for a LinkedIn article? You can go in, take that blog post, copy paste, maybe format it a little bit, change the call to action at the end, add in some different links, but then for the most part, it's already done. Having that there on that extra social platform without the extra work is going to help more than you realize. Excuse me, let me take a sip of my coffee here. And yes, it is 6 o'clock at night, and I'm drinking coffee. Because once my son gets to bed, I have a lot of work to do. So we're chugging into the caffeine so it hits when I need it. Okay. So social media captions. So you've already transcribed it. You've already turned it into a legible blog post, which, by the way, doesn't take nearly as much time as it seems like it does. I use otter.ai to transcribe my stuff, and then I go in, I've got a lisp and a stutter, and I talk way too fast. And so sometimes it gets some words wrong. So I go through, break it up into a readable blog post, add in the headlines. I've got to sneeze. Add in the headlines, and for the most part, it's already done. Once it's done, I can go in and pull social media captions. Now, I'm going to do a dedicated live about this, But I want you to look at that blog post and think of how many ways you can use that content with the knowledge that only about 3 to 5% of your audience sees that content. Meaning, don't think to yourself, oh, I've already seen this or I've already posted this before and they're going to get annoyed with me. No, go into it with the mindset that they probably haven't seen it. How many ways can you use it? Can you use it for a carousel on Instagram? Can you use it for a Reels script? Can you use it for a Facebook post? Go through and dive in deep and really think about, sorry, I've got my little blue dot over here. Really think about how you're showing up for your audience with those captions. Try not to be obnoxious and it's not working. So grab posts for words. Grab quotes for visual posts. So what I mean by this is you can make quote cards, quote graphics to make really visually attractive posts for Instagram, for Facebook, for TikTok, for Reels. Something I'm seeing really popular in Reels right now is like memifying a Reel, meaning you can put like an inspirational quote and turn it into a meme. Don't just do a solid picture. Don't be lazy with it, but you can put it on some really pretty B-roll in the background, which if you already have B-roll that you've used in a video that you're probably not going to use again, use it for Reels. So that's another way. That's a bonus way to repurpose your content. You've already gone to all the work to create this content for B-roll, and you're probably not going to use it again, right? Because you don't want to repeat stuff. So use that for your Reels and put the inspirational quotes on top of it as a visual representation of what you're wanting to do. Also, side note, I guess this is a bonus one. This is, I guess, we're already got 2 extra now. So you can actually take your videos and clip them together as a little montage, anywhere from 7 seconds to 30 seconds. Just montage it. Turn your content into some inspirational voiceover for a reel, and that's another video. You've already created the content. Now it's just putting it together. So that way, if you don't feel like putting makeup on, if you don't feel like putting a bra on, if you don't feel like getting all put together and you don't want to get out of bed, take the content you already have, cut it together, make a reel, make a TikTok, make it fun. And people don't know that you didn't even get dressed that day, right? No. I don't know about y'all, but I'm all about not having to actually get out of bed if I don't have to. So, excuse me. I've got something like stuck in my throat and my teeth. We're just going to roll with it. Okay, so curate a playlist for a freebie to build your email list. So here's the deal. Karleigh, I'm just a YouTuber. I don't need an email list. I'm just a streamer. If you want to make money as a content creator, if that is your end goal, if that is something that you would like to do, even considering maybe possibly a little bit, it's time to build an email list. You need an email list. Why? Think about it this way. How many times in the last few months have we all crapped ourselves because Instagram was down, or Facebook was down, or we couldn't get into something, or the number of people, as much as this breaks my heart, that have lost their YouTube channels recently? Or all of these scams going on. People don't want to communicate with their audience on YouTube because they don't want people to think it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. The best way to connect with your audience is to have an email list. My favorite, and I'll be honest, I haven't tried them all, but I absolutely love Flowdesk. You can find my affiliate link for that down in the description, and you get 50% off for the whole first year. It's so good because it's only one flat fee a month, regardless of how many subscribers you have. Whether you have 100 subscribers or 100,000 subscribers, the cost does not go up per month. And once you have an email list, you can talk to them directly to them without hoping that their notifications are turned on or without hoping that the algorithm is going to show up something. Instead of 3 to 5% of your audience seeing your posts, you can put something in front of your audience directly in their inbox where everybody lives nowadays. Not every day. Probably don't do every day unless your audience likes that, but probably don't do every day. But anyway, so back to this. I clearly have a lot of opinions about this. So back to curating a playlist for a freebie. So I love this idea, and I first saw this from Allison J. Prince. She is an e-commerce specialist. I love her. I'm taking her course for my clothing line. I love her to death. And she has created, not right now, please. She's created a freebie in Kajabi of a curated list of all of her YouTube videos. She didn't create any new content, but what she did is she put things together in a specific way so people could easily access her content. What do I mean? Well, that way, if I'm struggling with one specific, like say I'm really feeling stuck and I'm frustrated that my products aren't selling. I'm frustrated because my manufacturer is late with my products. I'm frustrated for whatever reason, or I'm feeling stuck. I can go to that curated list and go to the section that's listed mindset, or the section that's listed how to negotiate with manufacturers. And I can click on the video under that section that takes me directly to the video, without having to go to her page and scroll and wonder what's happening. Or wonder where it is, or take that time. I know exactly where to go, where to get to it. I get what I need, and then I can get back to work. Again, even if you're not necessarily a business, if you don't consider yourself, to be selling a full-on product, this could still really work for you. You can create a freebie list. Let's say you are a gamer and you play mostly MMORPGs. You can create, maybe you play 2 to 3 different games. You can create a curated playlist of your top plays or your top hits, top secrets. If you figured out some secret cavern, or you figured out some not cheat, I don't know, I feel like cheats. I've been out of the gaming community for like a hot minute, but whatever that cool thing is, you can compile that into a freebie in order to begin building that email list. And here's the deal. All you gotta do is talk about it. Just be like, hey, by the way, make sure to check out my email list, y'all, because I got this amazing freebie that you got, and it's gonna help you, it's gonna make you laugh every day, or it's going to help you find these secrets in Elder Scrolls, or whatever it is, right? Get creative and use it to build that list, because you need to build the list. So I'll get off of my email list soapbox. So I guess I'm not getting off my email list soapbox. Sorry. But the next thing is to send the video to your email list. So you can send something, like if you live stream, you can send an email out maybe 12 hours before you're planning on going live, and be like, hey, I'm going to go live. Come hang out with me, right? That's an email. And then after the live stream is done, you could be like, hey, here is the replay. If you need it, regardless of your niche, you can send this to your email. And then you can also cut out clips of the video that we talked about earlier, to 3 to 5 minute clips, and you can send that as content. I used to really stress myself out over sending content to my email list, and I really overthought it. So having these as an option blows my own dang mind. And I'm like, why did I not do this sooner? So that's why I'm really harping on it here, because it blew my mind. I overthought email lists so much, and I did not even consider to use the content that I already had. So you're welcome. Okay. Again, turn the blog post that you've already created, or the transcription that you have. If you didn't want to go to the work to create a full-on blog post, take the transcription. You can turn it into an email series. You can easily take you can go in and grab 2 to 4, or if it's really long, 6 emails out of that. You can make it a short email series where every week they get a piece of that blog post. Every week they get a piece of that transcription, or maybe 2 times a week or whatever. And it builds on itself. So that way you cut it out, you schedule them, and then you only have to mess with your emails, maybe, once a month to schedule them out. And then you've already got all of this content. You just copy, paste, and cut. You're making it look good. You're making sure it fits. Come on. This blows my mind, y'all. Absolutely blows my mind. So if you have a website, and I highly believe that everyone should, even if it's a free WordPress website, like I said, I don't trust social media platforms. I want to have a place where I can house my content without worrying that the powers that be are going to take it away from me. So you can take your videos and curate a top 10 page on that website. So when you have that website and you create a page, you can take your top 10 hits, your top 10 ways to repurpose content. You can use your top 10, or like, for example, for me, here in about a month, I'm going to have a lot of live streams here, right? Because I'm going to be going live every day. And so I can go in and do my top 10 list of how to repurpose for Instagram Reels and for TikTok. Here's my top 10 for repurposing for your email list, right? Like, I'm going to have all of this content that I can easily throw up on my thatcontentnerd.com website. And that way it's housed there. It's there, and I don't have to worry about the algorithm. All I have to worry about is pulling people to my website. And if that's a priority, cool. If it's not, I can send that as a resource to people who need it. Use videos for sales page and or FAQ. So if you have a website, having an FAQ is really beneficial, because if you're anything like me, you get a little overwhelmed in the DMs, okay? I am not even a big influencer. I don't have a giant audience. Combined, I think I have less than I think 2,000 or 3,000 people. I don't have a ton, but I still get overwhelmed in the DMs and in the comments, and I'm always feel like I'm repeating myself consistently, and that just makes me want to shut down, because my brain doesn't like that. And so instead, what I do is I create an FAQ list so that I can go, hey, if you have this question, it's answered here. Check out this webpage. Check out this video that answers all of the FAQ. And here's a cool thing. I'll talk about the sales page in a minute. But if you create a video that answers your top 10 or top 5 or whatever FAQs, you can take that video, put it on an FAQ page on your website, transcribe it, do the whole spiel, and then you can easily cut out the answers to those questions for Reels, for short form content. Or if your answers are 3 to 5 minutes, you can pull those out individually for individual YouTube content. I'm telling you, it's worth your time. Okay, video for a sales page. So let's say, for example, I have the repurposing, That Content Nerd Repurposing Guidebook. I could easily go in and, because I'm going to have a video where I share about why it helps and why it's so important. I'll be sharing that soon. I'll be able to take that video and I can put it on the sales page for the guidebook, so people understand it's not just some chick who's posting an ebook online. I can share the value with people, and that's going to live on my YouTube page or on my YouTube channel, and it can also go onto my sales page. So that way it's already getting the algorithmic build on YouTube, but then it's also answering questions that my potential buyers, potential clients need answered. So, and speaking of the guidebook, so this guidebook does walk you through step by step everything that I've talked about today. It walks you through, and goes a lot deeper. It has a content tracker. It shows you everything that you need in order to repurpose your content. You may not be able to outsource it yet, and that's totally fine. But even if you have to just start with one form of repurposing, I highly recommend you should. And this guidebook is going to help you do just that without the overwhelm. So let me go in and stop sharing. Cool. So I know that was really fast, and I know that was a lot, but I really hope that that helped you. Make sure that if you're not already, you click that subscribe button and hit, it's over here. This is mirrored. Hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell, because I'm going to be going live every day here on the channel, and I want to know what you want to see. So as you're hanging out and as you're watching videos, let me know what you want me to cover, and I will make sure that I cover it. And the link to the guidebook, I'm not sure I said that, is in the show description below. So go and check that out. And then if you have any questions, you can comment below or send me a DM on Twitter at it's over here on this handle right here on That Content Nerd. Thank you so much for hanging out. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.